Ever heard of John Boston?
Never heard of him.
Well, you should, because although we don't know what he looks like, we do know he was the first guy to brew beer in Australia and was one of the most unfortunate Aussie battlers to call this nation home. Boston thought he was pretty darn good at everything. He tried his hand at being an apothecary, a surgeon, a salt maker, and in the end discovered he wasn't very good at any of these things. But one thing he was good at was brewing beer out of corn bittered with love apple stalks at his windmill on Bennelong Point, right where the Opera House now stands. Well, actually, he wasn't good at brewing either. It tasted terrible. So the poor bloke packed up shop, jumped on a ship, and was eaten by cannibals somewhere in the South Pacific. Not the happy ending you were looking for? Wrong. Although it's a bit late for John Boston, okay, 200 years late, we've created a range of ales brewed here in Australia in his honour.
So now you know about John. Here's where we come in. The guys from Pinnacle Drinks brought this awesome beer to us with one goal in mind: help John Boston, the beer, do something its namesake never could: outperform its competitors. Clearly, John wasn't shy of a challenge in his day, but this time round, we were staring down his biggest challenge since the cannibals, and we all remember how that turned out. The big guys were spending their money chasing the lifeblood of the craft category, the hipster. We didn't have the cash to outshout them, and we also knew John Boston would roll over in his grave if we tried to peddle hipsters a beer with his name on it. Instead, we set out to reclaim craft from the hipsters and create a whole new kind of craft beer drinker. The kind of guy John Boston would have wanted to have a beer with if he was still around today. A true blue Aussie bloke. Our strategy was to use John Boston's status as the original Aussie battler to prove to our potential crafters we were true blue and worth a try. Put simply, sell the man to sell the beer. Just like our namesake, we didn't start with much. One hilarious 60-second video, a modest budget, and the aforementioned delicious beer. We started by getting John's story in front of our would-be crafters via YouTube and the Yahoo 7 network. Then we partnered with Social Soup to take the BYO out of barbecue, supplying beer for 600 modern-day John Bostons and their mates. All they had to do was jump on social and tell us what they thought of the brew. They all agreed. This was one tasty beer. Now the introductions were done and dusted, we got right down to celebrating John Boston's legacy. We joined forces with our mates at Triple M to create a massive celebration of all things Aussie. We threw the biggest game of backyard cricket set in Australia's biggest backyard on the biggest day in the Aussie calendar. Introducing the John Boston Oz One Dayer. What do you get if you round up ex-Test cricketers Mike Whitney and Ed Cowan, Triple M presenter Merrick, the guys from Thirsty Merc, James Rain, and the best tasting Aussie beer, all on a floating cricket pitch? A bloody great day, that's what. Merrick hyped the event on air in the lead up to and on the big day. And the day was a massive success with 150 mates, 60 cases of beer, 2 cricket legends, and one seriously awesome soundtrack. We raised a glass to a true Aussie legend. While John Boston himself might not have had a happy ending, this campaign certainly did. Through Social Soup, we got our beer into the hands of over 7,900 Aussies, who created over 1,000 pieces of unique content. A whopping 4 out of 5 said they'd keep buying John Boston, with 20% having already gone back for more. Not only did we nail our objective of cracking EDG's top 5 Australian craft beer brands, we made it to number 2. Over the campaign period, we even managed to take our top spot as BWS's number 1 selling craft beer. We absolutely smashed our sales target, driving an average sales increase of 68% over the course of the campaign. To top it all off, in the week of our Oz One Dayer, the beer recorded its highest ever sales, representing a sales uplift of 132%. I don't know about you, but we'll cheers to that.